Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today is my Draw With Me, Sketch With Me video. I will link all the products I'm using. I am doing Portrait November like I did last year, and like last year I am doing charcoals. I guess I only charcoal 1 month out of the year. I am doing a Lecterm A4. I am starting to run out of pages, so what's going to happen is I'm going to do double-sided, and while I've sprayed my previous creations, I'm putting a sheet of paper between them just to keep transfer and stuff, just keep them a little bit more protected, and then I will do probably gentlemen on the other side because I have done a lot of ladies on the right hand side. So do you have your sketchbook out? Are you drawing with me? Draw with me, create with me. I get a lot of my images and source material and inspiration from Pinterest. I don't really draw people from my life just because out of respect for privacy and things like that. So what I try and do is I go on Pinterest and find model photos of people that are models and borrow some of those imagery, and some of them I try and change up. There's something I really don't enjoy drawing when it comes to faces, and that is teeth. For some reason, I'm just not a fan of teeth. So if they have a mouth open, I close it. I take creative licensing, creative liberties, and I do away with it. But, you know, it is what it is. Everybody sort of has their own preferences and things when it comes to drawing and creating. Some people don't enjoy portraiture at all, and that's fine. You know, if you're into landscapes or urban sketching or just sort of animals or whatever it is, abstracts, it's all good. And I'm doing the generals, little chalk pencils here. I keep dropping them. They're sliding under my desk, so I'm not sure when or if at any point I have managed to use up a full stick. Even though I'm over halfway, I'm not really sure. So I'll have to look and examine that for when I go to do, you know, sort of my in-depth review of my no-buy for the month of November, because I am just not sure. I want this to come down right around here. And I have cut off her hair, but she will have a bun of some sort. So, how is your November going? Is it wild? Are you recuperating from October's challenges? I know a lot of folks are sort of just taking this month off to rest and relax. And I hear you, I see you, I get it. October can be a lot. So I'm just trying to figure out where to place everything to make sure, you know, it's proportional and nothing's too like out of whack or wonky, or I don't want anything to be too big, too little. And then this will all be hair. So I get everything kind of placed where I want it. And she is just living her best life. And we can kind of see her illustrated out now. I had this so zoomed in, I was going to have to move it like every 5 seconds. But we want to do the jaw, the mandible. If you are into anatomy and things, this is going to have a shadow portion. I'll kind of lay all this out here. Make sure she has a good eyebrow. And my darks are dark and my lights are light. With these, I mean, these take about an hour. Make sure that there's a huge value range, and that really adds to the depth and believability of illustrations like this. That your darks are really dark, your lights are light, and you have a full range in between, kind of holding it all together. But anyway, I really do enjoy charcoal though. It's a lot of fun. I wish some of the charcoal pencils weren't quite so scratchy. I mean, this is compressed. It doesn't have a lot of transfer onto my fingers if mess is something that bothers you. And you don't have to worry about sharpening it. But again, I mean, you would have to get like a grinder to create really fine point tips and stuff for sandpaper, if that's something you want to do with this product. Mine's super, super old. Charcoal doesn't really expire, so I've held on to mine for many, many years. Oh my gosh. If you can't do sound, I apologize. Like, if misophonia is something you suffer from, the sort of repetitive noises, creating with charcoal can be a lot. But she starts to really, the more you go in and not be afraid of pressing down hard and color, you can even pre-sketch, like if you want these better centered on your page, which mine aren't, you could pre-sketch and make sure you have the proportions just so, you know, everything looks even better. And do it that way. It'll help build confidence if you pre-sketch sometimes. If it seems too daunting or seems like too much, pre-sketching can help with that a little bit. And you can just go right over most of that. I mean, you can lightly erase portions. I would recommend a kneaded eraser depending on what paper you're using, just because you don't want to rip the fibers of the page too much and wreck those. So I'll add a little shadow. And she starts to come together, which is lovely. Hair can be fun. Hair can be a lot of fun. I was thinking about some point next year doing some tutorials that are a bit just more inclusive of all different hair shapes and lengths, for everything from like coil to wave to straight, that are just a bit more inclusive. I want to do some longer length tutorials that I think might help out. Understanding a little bit of sort of like physical anthropology, a little bit of history and migration, and then a bit about hair and, you know, round strands versus flat strands and some of that. It'd be a lot of fun to do some tutorials, but 10 minutes doesn't do it justice unless it's like, you know, a 10-part series, which I'm not doing, so it would have to be for next year if folks are interested in looking at some ways to do hair and hairstyles, and like if you're drawing portraits of children, their styles tend to differ, their cuts tend to differ a little bit versus portraits of adults or styles for adults. So there's the ear. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.